Hello and welcome to the Crypto Day morning for today's date, in that of Friday, the 3rd day of January 2019. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk reward. My name is Derek. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Hourly time frame for Bitcoin, yada 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 kind of stuff. It is looking to possibly roll over. If it does, then you got some of this empty space that could still make a higher low. Support has been established, so it's got to get below there for me to have any conviction for it. And for the regaining of a bull market, it's always got to get above the 18 average of highs and show me something above such. And within what's going on in the daily time frame, just continuation amongst this in the 18 average. It is not leaving it to the upside or downside, so complete neutrality within this correctionary mode. And when I see something like this, big high, big low, or a big sell-off, a significant lower high rally, but significantly above the 18 highs, showing an attempt to break the move, that when I have this correctionary play as I see and such, it's either got to have a break above or below. And if it does it on the above side, I'm going to probably notice that if it's above 4,000, high chances of a breakout. And if it's at like 43 high, then I'm probably going to be deeming this to go to next resistance level, probably north of 48 or around 5,000. If this thing falls out below the 18, the lows start to go weak and it breaks still below the established support of 35.81 convincingly, I'm not going to like the chances of support here, or that of little support at best, and most likely a run into the 2000s, 24, 25, 26-ish hundred area as a capitulation area or a support test. So that's the Bitcoin analyses. I'm going to move on next within Ethereum. Then I'm going to move on to that of LOOM, and then my NHL picks for today. And within Ethereum against Bitcoin, it's had a nice little run from its December lows. I got this line in here, more of a short-term level for if it's going to correct further. That's where I'm going to be looking for an area of support. That's where the 18 average of highs is currently in at. And in time, that's where the lows would meet up with as well. It's had a great day yesterday, decent sized green candle. And today, just a little bit of a pause moment. It's 9:45 a.m. as I'm doing this. So there's still another 9 hours plus to go in the end of the day. It could be a pause day. We could have a decent red candle down support test here. We could have further upside within the day if something ends up sparking the market. 4-hour term, we got some support within the 18 average of highs, and we can see clearly how big that level of resistance turned out to be. And amongst the single-hour time frame, there's a spot where it's dipped below the 18 average of lows, red candle down, establishing a deeper level of support from where it was before in here. Now it has came up and it's resisting this level amongst the 18 lows. So getting down below here, then I would be thinking it's going to 360. And like always, it's got to get above the 18 highs, do all its thing to resume the trend. And that is the Ethereum. Next up is going to be LOOM. And on the daily term, it's not really doing too much. It's potentially breaking out above the 18 highs. Keyword is just potentially. It's managed to come up to this previous resistance area here. For since its declining mode, it had some nice volatile up and down choppy action. It wasn't able to break above and do anything to spark a really good rally, but it wasn't able to do anything to break below, and thus on multiple occasions holding the 1111 area of support. So it's got above the 18 average in today's session. We can see some nice volatile green candles moving it higher, supporting an area where it just hasn't been. So when I see markets like this, well, I want to hold a key point, and it's right here, coinciding right now within the 18 average, at least appears below it. But this general area here must hold. Now, if the market is able to spark a very large gain and go up, like say to like 1800 or something of that nature, even 1700, then I'm going to want to see it come back and hold at around this area. So that's how I view that point of view. The 18 average of highs is pretty much in and around here. So therefore, when we look at this on the hourly time frame, then it could easily come down, pierce below, and that's just another good spot for a must hold. Now I sold some of this earlier today. I bought some of this yesterday. And within the 60-minute time frame on the Ethereum cross, I got in at 31, or I bought more. I just added to what I already owned in the buy low, sell high strategy. That's just where my buy order happened to be. So when the market does this, that means my order gets executed. And then I put a sale order in a hair under the 36 handle, 35 in high change, which meant up here. And again, if it goes up to 36 and I put a sell order just below it, that means I'm going to have my sell hit. So that means now, what did I do after this order? I put a sell order in a hair over 40, 41-ish area, and I put a buy order a hair over 30. So therefore, I'm looking for about a 20% price decline for the next buy. And this is against Ethereum. And what I do to determine how many I buy or sell is I figure out at a price pivot point what I need for my LOOM to be worth X amount of Ethereum. So therefore, what I do is, okay, buy order at 30, put 0.0 or 30041 or something like that, just a random number like that. Then I'll see how many my X amount is needed, and that'll be higher than what I would own, and I would subtract the difference, and that's what I would buy. And then on the sell, I would see again, okay, say maybe at 41,220, I would have so many of this coin worth this so much of Ethereum, which is less than what I'd have, so the difference is how many of that I sell. This is it for the charts. Thanks for tuning in. Whom are leaving at this point. I'm going to move into the National Hockey League as well as the IIHF. And what I'm going to show is a chart which represents original units, how many I'm up or down within my trades. And I'm right now up about 6 original units. I was up over 8 as I've lost 4 or 5 in a row now. But I'm taking major odds. Today has no exception. 11 wins, 12 losses, and an ROI of about 53%. Yesterday I stated in the IIHF that I took 3 hockey games all under 6.5, and I didn't document it in here, but I did make a very small wager. Thus I got a very small payout at plus 585 odds in parlay, and that was for 3 different games to go under 6.5, and each one of them went under convincingly. As I was thinking, well, this should be lines of like 5 favored over, 5.5 favored under. That's an extra goal on the 5.5. And if I'm right with my analysis, that means each game will have positive ROI, so it's a good parlay. But if I'm wrong with my analysis, then it's just better for me to do a parlay based on that type of reasoning, exactly why I did such. All the lines today in the IIHF 2 games are 5.5. So they seem to maybe have fixed their error. I've talked about how I consider handicappers correcting errors, and thus when they're correct long term, the handicappers, they should get a positive ROI for getting lines they see have value. And these are the ones today I think have value. The Washington Capitals laying a goal and a half, pretty much at 2-to-1 odds. Yes, it's a road game, but I'm not too concerned with such. They're playing the St. Louis Blues, and they're not that good of a team. They've been pretty consistently not good all year long. Capitals are a hot team. And for me to get 2-to-1 odds, I need to be right at least a third of the time to make a play like this. And I think it's close to 40% likely. Maybe a hair above that for the win. So in such, I see this game having value. Buffalo's taking on Florida, and I like the draw at plus 273. These are 2 teams that are not too scared of playing that extra period. In fact, they've been doing it quite often. I have a lower scoring team in the Buffalo Sabres. Florida's not as low scoring, but they're just going to overtime like it's no tomorrow. 14 of the last 30 Buffalo games have went to overtime. That's close to half. So I'm just going to keep playing this trend and look for spots like this with 2 teams together that like overtime, games that the money line favorite is under minus 140, minus 150 and all that, and then just go on it. And that's one of these situations. Tampa Bay and the Kings over 7.5 goals. Well, Tampa Bay is the reason why I'm playing this total over. And in the last 15 Lightning game, 10 of them have had 8 goals or more. That's 2/3 for a plus 282 line. I like that. Average score of like 5-3. They have won 14 of those 15 games, the Tampa Bay Lightning, with the other game being a overtime defeat. Playing a money line where we stand right now for Tampa minus 200, or even playing Tampa Bay on the puck line on the road as well at a noticeable price, well over plus 100, plus 130, plus 140, I think is a pretty good play as well. I'm not doing such, but I like the value in that as well. I'm passing on the afternoon game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Minnesota Wild. I'm trying to find value in there. I have looked and looked and looked, and I just can't do such. I refuse to go against the Maple Leafs with them being so great on multiple days off. And Minnesota's not a spectacular team by any means. Garrett Sparks is out, so is Zach Hyman. Not a too big of a deal for Hyman, but he is one of the 4 or 5 nice staple players they're going to be without and have been for a couple of games. And being without Freddie Anderson, I think, is really big because Garrett Sparks is that of inconsistent. But I thought, you know what, how about over the total? I looked at it. To me, doesn't seem like there's that much long-term value in going over 6.5 goals or even 6 goals in this game. So I'm just going to throw that out. Go with these 3. However, there's another game tonight, and that is between the Chicago Blackhawks and the New York Islanders. And I want to play a 1.5 favorite line on the Islanders. However, only if Cam Ward is starting for the Chicago Blackhawks. If the youngster Delia, Delia, is going to be starting, I'm not going to play it. But I will take the Islanders minus a 1.5 if Cam Ward is starting for Chicago. You can check out starting goalies at Left Wing Lock webpage or the webpage of Daily Faceoff. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.